Hello my country people, welcome back to the news. These northerners, they really hold ground for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. If you see the way wey dey drag this matter, you go feel say e get wetin dey inside. Like, so tey the president now don send emissaries say make dem go beg these northerners over his tax reform bill. My country people, wahala dey o. The Northern Elders Forum don talk say lie e no get how they wan take gree for dis President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's proposed tax reform bill. Dem don talk say the thing go really hurt dem well well. It will be harmful to their economy. It won't favour them. So they don already hold ground say e no get as e wan take be. In fact, they've called for an immediate suspension of this tax reform bill. Yes o, my country people, they've called for the suspension of this tax reform bill. They've argued that this tax reform bill, will certainly impoverish them. It will not favour them. It will only favour some sections of the country, some states, but it won't favour them. Now, according to Tinubu, his tax reform bill would certainly make things better, but they said no. Instead of making things better for them, it will bring about unbearable hardship. It will bring about unbearable harsh economic realities. And they don't want that. So they criticize Tinubu's government for failing to adhere to a global best practice in policy making, such as engaging stakeholders and designing a transparent implementation mechanism. Now, these glaring failures necessitated the timely setting up of a committee of experts on the field by the Northern Elders Forum. Among their recommendation, the NEF had urged the government to suspend the rush to implement this bill. The NEF are the Northern Elders Forum, and they've told Tinubu that he should prioritize more on having dialogues with stakeholders and also reconsider plans to increase VAT. They also called for the protection of strategic institutions like TEFON. We all know TEFON. We know NITDA and other, organizations. Now, they have strongly recommended that the government should do all these things. The Northern Elders emphasized the need for fairness in VAT revenue distribution and advocated for the exemption of the agricultural goods and livestock from VAT, noting that the significant impact on northern Nigeria's economy. Furthermore, they propose replacing continuous terms like the religious to promote inclusivity and recommended exempting religious organizations and family inheritance wealth from taxation. So guys, what are your thoughts on this? Like I said, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has intensified efforts to gain the support of the northern elites for his administration's tax reform bills amid growing opposition from the north. The president, is said to have reached out through personal consultations and back channel engagement to address concerns and to secure buy-in for this his continuous proposal. Now, the bill which includes the Nigeria Tax Bill 2024, the Nigerian Tax Administration Bill, and others, aim to reform the tax system, but have faced strong resistance from the Northern Governors and the Northern Governors Forum. This Northern Governors Forum argued that the proposed changes, particularly the shift to a derivation-based model added tax VAT distribution model, would economically disadvantage the region. And during a media chat in December, Tinubu had defended his reform, emphasizing their necessity for Nigeria's economic future, where he noted a lot of things, that the reform is here to stay. He cannot, go back on what he has already bargained for Nigeria, and his policies is here to stay. So Nigerians should embrace this change. They should not complain. But then, the northern governors, look at how they are holding firm. They remain firm in their decision, demanding the withdrawal of these bills. Guys, we started talking about these bills right from November. We talked about it in December. Now, January 2025, we are still discussing these bills. The Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed had labelled this proposal as anti-Northern, warning of a regional consequences if they proceeded with this bill. The Kano State Governor also voiced his opposition, with the Deputy Governor Aminu Abdulsalam criticizing the reform as ill-timed and detrimental to Nigeria's unity. But then Tinubu, despite all this, sent emissaries to the northern elite to clear way for the passage of this tax reform bill. But despite sending emissaries, sending his people to go and talk to them, they are still insisting that they are not going to change their minds. Oh, nothing will change their minds on this bill. They remain unmoved by Tinubu's overturns. They've demanded that the bill must be withdrawn from the National Assembly for further consultation. The northern governors, they remain adamant. Now, Tinubu's tax reform bill was introduced to the National Assembly by October 2024, and October, November, December, we've been talking about the tax reform bill. The governors have been, but some southern governors have embraced this bill. Some South Senate caucus members, they've also embraced this bill, but the North, they've said no, they are not going to embrace this bill. So what is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu going to do now that these guys are saying no, they would not embrace this bill? What decision will Tinubu take over this thing? Because if the North does not agree, that means there will be a divided, there will be a divided attention in this on this tax reform bill, because everybody needs to come together and agree. But now, the North are saying no. The South have partially agreed. So how is it going to be like? Would Tinubu, despite the disagreements from the North, will Tinubu, despite the stand from the North, go ahead? And the National Assembly, will they go ahead? Because the northern senators, they are not ready to approve this bill, and they say majority carries the votes. Who knows what will happen? Because the northern senators, they are not ready. The northern House of Reps members, they are not ready. The northern governors, they are not ready. So how would Tinubu go about with his tax reform bill? You see, so many persons have expressed support for Tinubu's tax reform bill, but they've cautioned against rushing the process, stressing on the need for transparency, public engagement, and careful deliberation. So at this point, I think the Northerners, they are trying to make sure they don't rush into something they will regret later. I'm dropping here, guys. Kindly share your thoughts on this in the comments section.